Morning, Spiritual Life Center. Look at this mighty group that's here with us this first service today. Wonderful. Your soul is welcome here, and you are in the right place at the right time and on time. Let's sing about that.
That's right, just where you are meant to be, whether you're live streaming or here in person. And again, we have Kayla Roach joining us on the platform. Reverend Deborah has a wonderful talk about freedom today. How apropos. And it is July. Let's sing. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant Your soul is welcome. All souls are welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Your soul, our souls, oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. We're so mighty. My soul is welcome here. Put your hands together. My soul is welcome here. Yeah. My soul is welcome here. My soul, your soul, our soul. Everybody, everybody, everybody is welcome here. Yeah. My soul is welcome here. Oh, you know you're welcome. My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Ann, and all those people back there. Good morning. Good morning, Patty Peters. Thank you for sharing the platform with me this morning.
Well, it's great to be here with you, Reverend Deborah. Oh. We greet you in the name of all that is good, all that is sacred, and all that is holy, and in the warm and loving energy of our spiritual community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people, worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because we know that there is no space that God does not grace. If this is your first time joining us, online or in person, we especially welcome you because we know you are not here by accident. We are all here by divine appointment. Please silence your electronic devices and no flash photography during the service.
And we take a moment now to turn within, to bring ourselves into this place in this time so that as we go through this hour together, we know that we join in consciousness in this special time of year for those of us in the United States as we celebrate our Independence Day. We also celebrate our spiritual independence, knowing that we are each the divine expression of the one source shining in and through us in our own unique way. And we're so very grateful for the opportunity to be together, because when we come together, we learn, we expand our consciousness, we expand our awareness, and we know that we are in the right place at the right time always. And we say, thank you, God. Amen. And we have a mission here at Spiritual Life Center, and that is to transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry out that mission through the 5 unity principles, which help us to keep our consciousness in the right place. And it also, when we say it together, it helps us integrate that and use it in our everyday lives. So let's say them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action. And it is July, and with all the people with July birthdays, please stand.
July babies, if it is your month, let us sing to you. All right. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yes, you too. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya.
would really like to thank Shirley Brown the first Sunday of every month. She makes a beautiful arrangement for us, and this is the arrangement she made for our Red, White, and Blue Week. Thank you so much, Shirley.
Now, normally Patty would be making the Wow Wednesday announcement, but she's my victim this week. Actually, what happened was about 2 weeks ago now, we were having just one of those casual conversations that women have, and she mentioned this incident when she was doing some daycare where she saved the life of a baby. And I went, that's a really cool story. And then she said, and then there was this other time when I saved this person's life, and she told me that story. And then she said, and then there was this other time when I saved this person's life. And it turns out all three of those happened in 1 week. And I said, Patty, we have to tell that story from up here. So this Wednesday, Patty and I are going to sit down and we're going to talk about what that was like for her. And it was a time when she wasn't really particularly spiritually connected either. So I'm really interested to see what comes out of our conversation. The community meal is at 6 and the program starts at 7. See y'all there.
And join us on Friday, July 14th for the Alive and Thriving Bingo. It's from 7 to 8:30, and it's in person only. Invite your family and friends to come to SLC and see what we're all about. Even if we're playing bingo, that's a fun activity. And we'll play different bingo games, four corners, cross, diagonal, blackout, all the different games, and there's prizes to be had for winning. You can register at the hub on site or online, and you have to pre-register, but you don't have to pay. You can pay at the door. So please call the office if you need to cancel your registration that you had signed up for.
And we're asking people to register so we know how many cards to make, right? Yeah, we have a real reason for that. Yeah. So we have a community meeting coming up on July 23rd, and we're trying to make this sound really exciting. It is the mid-year financial update. So I came up with three reasons why you might want to come. First of all, find out our financial health and what our plan is going forward, what we're doing. And then, of course, you can ask any questions you want about our finances. And it will be I think it will be a really productive and interesting meeting. So we invite you all to come. It's after service from 1 to 2:30 on Sunday, July 23rd.
And I'd like to introduce Sally Sion, who is a member of the Community Giving Partner, and she's going to introduce the Community Giving Partner of this month.
Thank you. Some of you know I've been involved in our community giving program for about 25 years. Okay, and I always love it when we find another fairly small local community agency that we can help support, because these are the agencies that are the grassroots agencies helping people within our community. And we've given about $1.5 million back to the community and community giving from this church. So that's a pretty incredible accomplishment. And I feel like that those funds have gone out to over 300 agencies within our community and offered real substantial help to people who happen to need help at any given time. And this is an agency, Kelly's Cookies, that you get to go out after the service and have a cookie to try their product to see whether you think it's of any value. But anyway, but the main point is not to just make cookies for us, okay? The main point of this program is to provide a place for young adults, many of them foster children aging out of foster care. And a lot of foster kids at 18 get put out the door, literally. The day they turn 18, the money stops. And so they're put out on the porch with their cardboard box and their product. They don't have family support, or they wouldn't be in foster care in the first place. So they need a community, they need a family, they need a place that is not only going to teach them some workable skills that they can use, but they need a community that cares and loves them. Okay, so Levi is on the board and has been really involved in Kelly's Cookies for about 6 years, and I want him to tell you about the agency.
Well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Levi, and I serve on the board and as a volunteer at Kelly's Cookies in Roseville. We are a nonprofit bakery that mentors and employs local at-risk youth and youth who have recently aged out of the foster care program. And just like she was saying, it's quite surprising to me, having grown up in Roseville and in a typical family where I wasn't exposed to a lot of this stuff. It is amazing to me that many of these youth that age out of the foster care program, meaning that they were a child in foster care, at 18 they became an adult, they no longer have oftentimes a place to live, they no longer have any income or employment. So Kelly took her bakery and turned it into a nonprofit in 2017 and employs many of the youth in Sacramento and Placer County, at least for a short period of time in the bakery, where we teach them different skills in light of hopefully getting other types of employment in the community. But we teach them just some basic business skills, baking skills, how to handle money, how to show up on time, how to appear in public, and we also do mock interviewing with many of them. So it's a great stepping stone to additional employment in the area. So definitely the contribution that all of you have made to us is significant. And actually, without contributions like what you're making today, we really couldn't survive. We have two sources of income. One would be our cookie sales. We have a retail location in Roseville, adjacent to our bakery, and we have online sales, but it's the donations really that keep us afloat. And I can tell you with Kelly, she is very good at utilizing every single dollar. So the donation that we're receiving today is very vital in keeping us going and keeping young people employed. So we definitely appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll be out in the lobby as well today.
With your cookies.
With the cookies, yes.
And Levi, I'm happy to present you with this $1,000 check, and
Thank
we
you.
really wish you well.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And remember, we have many activities that foster transformation in our lives. Check out our weekly small groups and other offerings. And the happenings at SLC are on our website, or if you're in person, you can go to the bulletin board and then sign up for an event at the hub. So hope to see you out there.
And one of the reasons that we come to a place like that is to have community and to make connection. And we have that opportunity right now to make that connection as we stand and greet each other in the way that we are most comfortable.
And we invite you to stay standing and join us in singing our group song. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to be pretty free with this. This is actually in the Unity Hymnal. We're just going to sing it a little bit different. You might know it a little slower. And then there'll come a time where you can kind of do whatever you want vocally. That'll be fun, right? I know you, thank you. I know he's going to have fun in the back. Yes, okay, perfect. That's all I need. I am free, I am unlimited. We're going to sing it together. You ready? Let's do it. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I be as free as you want vocally. I know you've heard of some vocal improv or ad lib, but we're just going to sing whatever comes to mind. Not words, just you've heard scat, whatever you want to do. We're going to have some fun with it. Are you ready? You look very scared. Don't be scared. Be free.
Free yourself.
Free yourself, that's right. All right. Whatever you want. Some, you know, it could sound like, okay, here we go. Let me hear I am free. Good job. Give yourselves a hand. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited right now. Right now. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited right now. I am free. Sing it again. I am free. I am unlimited right now. I am free. I am unlimited right now. Yeah, that's right. Give yourselves another hand. Please be seated. Do you feel more free?
I had to
Anybody
say
feel more free? No? Do you feel more scared?
Did you get unscared? Good. All right. I see you've all settled nicely into your chairs. Let's take a nice, deep breath together. And as we prepare for our meditation, we're going to begin by speaking out loud our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. Now we're going to sing this chant, Let Freedom Ring.
I invite you to take a nice deep breath. And let's settle into our chair as we sing this beautiful chant written by Paula Mandela. Please join us in singing. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. In my soul, let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. to be just who I am. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring in my soul. Let freedom
Let freedom ring. Feel that. Breathe in the sound. Let freedom ring. Join me on a freedom meditation based on Mary Oliver's poem, The Journey. Let's start our journey by listening to the following excerpt. One day, you finally knew what you had to do and began. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt that old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do. This poem is not only about recognizing how we can be held captive by listening to the voices of others rather than our own. I believe it is also about recognizing the voices within, the voices that tug at our ankles, the ones that haunt us and follow us, those voices that keep us stuck in the past or worried about the future. These voices keep us from being truly free. Let's take a freedom journey together. Sit comfortably with your feet grounded deep into Mother Earth, keeping the spine strong and straight, the heart soft. Close your eyes. Let go of any thoughts and shift into awareness. Just be here now. Aware of your breathing. Breathing in. Aware of the in-breath. Breathing out. Aware of the out-breath. In-breath. And out-breath. Continue breathing. Each time you exhale, notice how relaxed your body becomes. In-breath and out-breath. Totally present. Thoughts may or may not come up. If thoughts arise, let them become merely as wind, trying to pry their stiff fingers at your very foundation, at your ankles. They are just wind and cannot grasp onto you. Let them cry out if necessary, but know that it is simply a call for love. And return to the breath. Breathe in and out. Move forward on your journey. Little by little, leave each voice behind. As you do, imagine moments of clarity, as if you can visualize stars beginning to burn through sheets of clouds. In these moments of clarity, these stars represent a new voice, which you slowly recognize as your own, keeping you company on your journey. You have broken free in the silence. And slowly return to the present, this present moment. You might wiggle your fingers or toes. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Take in a deep breath and let it out with a sigh. Be here now. Know that you are never alone. You always have that voice keeping you company on your journey. That voice is your own. It is the voice of freedom. May it be so.
Sweet
Thank you, Ann and Kayla, and thank you for sharing your daughter with us, Ann. You're sitting there looking at the proud mom look. That is really, really. Let freedom ring. I am free. I have a confession. In working on this talk, I committed a spiritual felony. I pulled out the daily word and I flipped to July 4th. That's right, I looked ahead in the daily word. And I have no idea what the ramifications are for this, but I'm going to read it to you so we're all in this together. We're just going to help that Reverend James doesn't hear about it.
You know it's being recorded, right?
So this is what the daily word says about July 4th and about, of course, what else? Freedom. Living as the divine being I am is the sweetest freedom. Today I celebrate my spiritual freedom. The past has no power over me, and the future is mine to co-create with God. Amen. Is this Peanut Gallery Sunday? Yes. I let go of all that. When did I lose control of this?
That's the whole point.
That is the whole point. I'm starting over. Well, not totally over. Okay, so living as the divine being that I am is the sweetest freedom. Today, I celebrate my spiritual freedom. The past has no power over me, and the past and the future is mine to co-create with God. I let go of all that holds me back from living a full and abundant life. This is a new beginning. My prayers affirm my worth and my freedom. I release thoughts and beliefs that bind me. Centered in God, I choose how I will meet life's circumstances. I am freed from seeking the approval or acceptance of others. I am free to be myself. My spiritual self is as infinite as the sky. Like an eagle, I soar through the expanse of consciousness. I have the power to change my thinking, release limitations, and rise above the clouds of circumstance. I am gloriously free. Well, after I read that, I thought about that covers it. But I've been thinking a lot about freedom over the past few weeks. And of course, obviously, I came up with this title when I looked at it. It's like 2 days before 4th of July, and that was the title that came to my head. But then I got to think about it for a while. And I realized that freedom seems simple, but really, it's actually more complicated. Or maybe complicated is not the right word. For those of us born here in the United States, the idea that we live in a free country is just ingrained in us early. It's just part of who we are. You know, it's just a part of our consciousness. And unless we're activists or politicians, we tend to just accept that we live in a free country, while also sort of erroneously thinking sometimes that we're the only free country in the world. We kind of do that sometimes. It's like, that's not true. And so obviously, because of Independence Day is Tuesday, this is where I really got to thinking about it. You know, we hear stories from people like Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi who are actually in prison and found emotional and spiritual freedom during those times. And I'm not going to tell their stories because they're told so often from here. But they are dramatic stories. They deliver that wonderful message that our freedom wholly lies within our consciousness. But unless you've been there, physically restricted, not able to exercise your free will, how real is that message for you? We can try to imagine, but no one who has not been in prison or enslaved or human trafficked or lived in a country where you can be jailed for just saying something can even come close to understanding what it's like. And so there I'm talking about that broader view of freedom. But there's also personal freedom and spiritual freedom. And of course, that is the message of the daily word. But since so many of us take the general idea of freedom for granted, we may not really appreciate how much we tie ourselves in knots and how we can discover freedom for ourselves. You know, the discovery process is essential to our growth. Now, this came up in a conversation I had last week. I mentioned that I had known a person who had grown up in unity, and had the, quote, advantage of being exposed to this way of thinking from a very young age. Yet they were one of the most angry, resentful people I had ever met. And of course, yeah, we're just going to take it for granted that anybody who grew up in this is going to be all woo-woo wonderful. And this person was extremely, like, on that other side. And my take was that, and I wasn't judging, it was just an interesting thing to watch. It was like, my take was that since that person was immersed in the teaching from the beginning, they didn't have the perspective of what it is to live any other way, to have any other information. They didn't know the difference. And then someone else said, right, because they didn't get to discover how that change of consciousness can have a direct effect on your life. And most of us who are in this teaching came into it at some point in our lives, and and for many, many people, it was a huge shift, right? Yes. And so we know that we see the difference, and we understand for us, each one of us, we say this is an advantage to us. Discover. We got to uncover. And I have the privilege of having lots of deep conversations with people. And one of the coolest parts of those conversations is when someone will say to me, guess what? You know that thing we talked about? Well, I was just working in my garden the other day, and all of a sudden, I got the solution. Or that book I read 3 years ago, now it makes sense. Or I decided to really focus on I want, and guess what? It worked. It's so wonderful to have people come up and report those kinds of things. Those moments of personal discovery. When we discover something for ourselves, we get it. We understand it. And then we can integrate it, and it becomes a part of us, and we can use it in our lives. It's like I said, self-discovery is essential to our spiritual growth. And it's that aha moment that transmutes the idea from intellectual thought to knowing. And when it goes from knowing to being. So what do you need to feel free? What does free mean to you? For those of us who have taken the idea of freedom for granted, this is actually a pretty important question. And so, of course, I started to do my own inventory. And I imagine that's what Mandela or Gandhi and some of the other people who tell these stories did, because they practically had nothing else to do because they were in prison, understanding what freedom really meant to them. Well, what does freedom mean for me? Well, on an everyday level, freedom is being able to make my own schedule and not have a rigid work schedule that requires me to be in the same place at the same time every single day. It means having a job that allows me to do my job without any oversight, or at least not a lot. You know, and I came into doing Wow Wednesdays as an intern back in 2016. And after a couple of years, Elaine started saying, maybe we should be paying you, because apparently you're not supposed to be an intern forever. And my response was, yeah, but if you pay me, you can tell me what to do. And we would laugh and we would walk away. And then they gave me an actual title. But the flexibility is worked into being a minister, and so it works well for me. And while that flexibility is of utmost importance to me, I also need some structure, and some people need a lot more structure. And oddly, if you were in a situation where you didn't have that structure and you're a person who needed it, you might not feel free because of the stress or worry that it would cause you, because you wouldn't feel tethered. So it's different for every single person. You know, some people see freedom as being able to travel to far-flung destinations as often as they want. And others see it as having time to be alone in the backyard with the hydrangeas and the butterflies. And what we don't talk about as much is the fact that wherever you go, whatever you do, there you are. Meaning that our internal landscape never leaves us. And we can be held captive by that landscape. We might feel like we have all the material freedom in the world, but if we are tied up inside by negative thoughts and emotions, we could travel to the moon and still be stuck in the middle of some situation or another. So what are these things that get in our way? You know, the song that Ann and Kayla just sang, anger, weariness, lies and delusions. I love that line. Secrets, fear, and I would add regret and grief to that. And of course, everybody, again, you know, you've got your own list. There are so many ways that we create mental, emotional prisons for ourselves. And each one of us, or I'm just going to say it this way, and you are the only one who can determine what that is for you. When we read the daily word and proclaim, I release thoughts and beliefs that bind me, it can be very helpful to know what those thoughts and beliefs are. Identifying them allows you to process and acknowledge them, and then finally release them. And that is one of the things that the quantum living training offers as a very structured process. But of course, we can do it on our own as well. Learning to let go seems really easy. We say it all the time, let go and let God. And you're going, yeah, right. But we have all had experiences that cut to the core, and we sometimes get stuck in that moment. And it's not unusual for a person to discover something that happened 20 years ago that's still running in the background and in some way running them. Now, I have to say, and I'm not bragging here, but I've done a lot of work on my stuff. I was in therapy at 19. In 1968, that was a pretty big deal. And I came into Unity when I was about 25. So there's a lot under my belt. I don't know if I want to talk about this. Okay. And yet last week, I was assaulted, just assaulted by some very old, very deep emotional wounds. And it threw me completely off balance. And I had to take a couple of days to regain my equilibrium, and to the point of saying, I just really can't talk on the phone right now. This stuff just came roaring up into my consciousness. And at first, it really did feel like an emotional assault. But I decided to go with it. I let myself feel awful. I took stock of everything that came up and made a mental list of it all. I couldn't even write it down. I could just keep it in my head. And those were 2 extremely difficult days. But I chose not to reject that experience, because I knew that it would just keep coming back up if I didn't until I confronted it. And this is old. And yeah, I meditated, but I didn't ask for it to be taken away. I looked at it head on, and you know what? On the 3rd or 4th day, I woke up, it was gone. Obviously, the awareness was there, but all that emotional angst was just gone. It was like a fever had broken. Now, I have a plaque on my desk at home that says, sometimes God calms the storm, and sometimes God lets the storm rage and calms the child. And both of those work. Both those ways work. For me, it was a little bit of both over that period of time, you know. But I am now free from the emotional chains that bound me to something that happened a very long time ago, and that was still running in the background, and it feels wonderful. I feel so much better. Was it fun? No. Was it easy? No. Was it worth it? Oh, hell yeah. You may be wondering if I engaged in a round of forgiveness, forgiving the other people involved. I don't do that anymore, and here's why. Now, this may sound really weird, and I wondered about actually saying this from the platform, but I'm going to. So there's this kind of an obscure book. It's just called Oneness. And it's a channeled book that I walked by the bookstore 3 times before it just demanded I take it. But it has some very interesting ideas on it. And one of them is about forgiveness. Now, the whole idea about forgiveness really is to take the experience, learn from it, and move on, right? Well, this book said that if we want to disengage, which is what we're talking about, we should not forgive, because the very act of forgiveness is walking back and re-engaging in the past event. And I thought, whoa, that kind of broke my mind. So I thought about that, and this is many years ago when I found it, and I've been thinking about it all this time, and I finally decided to do this. I decided that I would stop forgiving other people. Instead, I would forgive myself for being part of the creation of the situation, even if I didn't feel responsible. It wasn't a matter of, yes, I created this, I know I'm a bad metaphysician and blah, blah. That wasn't that. It was like, everything I do, I have a part in. I'm going to forgive myself for my part in it. And I found out that when I did that, I didn't need to forgive anybody else. It was really kind of magical. And so that's what I do now. But I won't lie, it takes a lot to not re-engage. That takes a lot of practice because it's so easy to go back to that and back to that. And my success rate is something I don't record. But when it works, the emotional and spiritual freedom it brings is such a gift. Life is better. It's easier when we're not carrying all that weight of being angry and defensive and afraid. The Daily Word affirms, living as the divine being I am is the sweetest freedom. Today, I celebrate my spiritual freedom. The past has no power over me, and the future is mine to co-create with God. Now, my story that I just told is an example of what that says. These things happened in the past, and I still know they happened, but neither the people involved nor the experience have any power over me anymore. And see, I didn't even realize that I was still giving power to these people who are not even in my life anymore. On some level, I still gave them power. I thought it was behind me. But once it showed up right in my face where I could not ignore it anymore, the power dissipated. Emotional and spiritual freedom are interconnected, and I tried to find a better word than that because when you become emotionally free, your spiritual freedom surfaces. And maybe when you have a spiritual experience that frees your mind, you become more emotional free. There is no separation. So it's really easy to take the idea of freedom for granted until you realize that freedom begins within. And then responsibility kicks in. That's the story that Nelson Mandela and the others tell. They changed their thinking. And today I have tried to make that story more personal, more relatable, I hope. When I was starting this talk, I looked up what Charles Fillmore wrote about freedom, and I decided to put it at the end. And he says, freedom is the quality or state of being without thought or restraint, bondage, limitation, or repression. Freedom is having a sense of complete well-being. It is the result of regulating one's life according to principle, not according to what anyone else may think or say. A complete sense of well-being. What an absolutely beautiful way to express that quality of life. Can you expect to feel like that all the time? I'm pretty sure the answer is no. You can, however, learn to recognize and appreciate those moments of complete well-being. You can also recognize when you don't feel it. And when that happens, you can go on your own voyage of discovery and seek what is holding you, what you're holding, what keeps you stuck, and let it go. And you do this not out of a sense of guilt or shame, but because that voyage of discovery leads you to uncover your divine self. Remember, you are an individual, unique expression of the one true source. And the more of that you uncover and recognize, the freer you will be. What is freedom? Freedom is discovering and embracing your spiritual self and then shining it or bringing it into the world. And so it is. Next week, Reverend James will be back, and he is going to be talking about the universe in you. And I'm doing the meditation. And we have Dahlia Kielsen and Soul Light Connection. It's going to be a great, great day. If you are wanting or feel in need of prayer, our chaplains will be in the courtyard to pray with you. And they are here to pray with us in times of joy and in times of concern. And as I said, they wear the white stoles and they'll be out in the courtyard. And we'd love to welcome our newcomers. And in a moment, I'll ask you to raise your hand. But first, we want you to know there are many ways to become connected at SLC. And one way to do that is to fill out the welcome card. That welcome card is available online, and you can fill it out and send it and go to our website, fill it out, and submit it, and we will get back to you. And if you're here, if you raise your hand, we'll give you the card. You can take it to the welcome table for a very special gift. We have any newcomers today? Okay, we are giving you a purple ribbon, and we ask you to wear it on the left side over your heart. And you, as I said, you can fill out the card and take it out to the Welcome Center. And now, this is our opportunity to celebrate and support Spiritual Life Center. And if you're online, you can text us at SLC Love at 44321. You can go to our website, click the donate button. Of course, you can always mail in an offering. And if you are online and want to spread this consciousness, click on like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever thing that the app you're on lets you do so that we can keep this message going out and out. It's an important message, and we love your support, and we appreciate it. And for those of us here, let us raise our offering, at least symbolically, to the, let's just raise it and say our blessing together. Wow. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
It didn't matter what I did. I felt the doubt for what I lacked right from the start. It did a number on my head. It could never touch my heart, 'cause I had just enough imagination, just enough to keep the faith that somehow I would think of what to do when I get lost in a momentary weakness of emotion. All the angels came around to help me through. Life pulls fast changes, wind blows past pages. All I see is I don't need this high-strung tightrope walk, ticking time bomb clock. Scratch my name off, cut these chains. I'm free, kicking out of that prison. I am free, singing those words of wisdom. Let it be. Nobody gonna put the blues inside of me. Hey! Yeah, 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 yeah. And in the stress to be the best, I did it all. I slammed the doors, I jammed the locks, I laid the bricks, I built the walls. No one could tell me back then why joy eluded me, kept bumping into that misery locked up deep down inside of me. I took that rage and I turned that page and I packed my tools, went back to school, yeah. And I passed my graduation and I hold my PhD in crash test blues. I paid those dues. I'm free, kicking out of that prison. I am free, singing those words of wisdom. Let it be. Ain't nobody gonna put the blues inside of me. Time flies by in photographs, in paper scraps and song. Here I stand in ruby slippers. 3 taps takes me home. Yeah, I am free.
Kicking out of that prison, I am free. Singing those words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be. Nobody gonna put the blues inside of me. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free.
Time flies by in photographs and paper scraps and song. Here I stand in ruby slippers. 3 taps takes me home. I am free. Oh, I am free. Oh, yeah, free.
Yeah, we are free. We give thanks for the offerings and the support of Spiritual Life Center, because we know that as we give, we receive, and it keeps that circle of love and support and joy going round and round. And we also bless the prayers that are in the prayer box, because we know that before the question is even asked, the answer is here now. And by asking, we open ourselves up to that answer. And these prayers are sent to Silent Unity to be prayed for another 30 days, just expanding the possibilities and knowing that every answer comes in the right time, in the right place, in the right way. And we say thank you, God. Amen. And now let's say our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. Let's sing our peace song.
On earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator,
Have a freewheeling week. May the joys of the world go with you.